just, and usually we do a bit of
Light dance.
boogie.
Exactly.
That's good. Thanks.
Hello. Happy Friday and welcome back to Humble Brags and Shopping Bags. We're extremely excited to have the boys in the studio with us today. We have Anthony and Guy from Oz Hair and Beauty. Welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
No, I'm personally really excited about this conversation because I think it has been years since, me personally has been following your journey, and it's been a wild ride for you both. So I'm really keen to get into it and kind of understand more about your journey, how you started, how, and I'm preempting the conversation, but how you've basically grown up with that hustle and entrepreneurial mindset. So looking forward to this conversation, guys. And I know a lot of our listeners are as well, which is awesome.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So let's start with a little bit about the journey. I think, Had and I love the story of how you started, how and why you started. So can you just share a little bit about that and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, so pretty much started, we've been doing it for nearly 11 years now, but, our parents had hairdressing salons and they've had hairdressing salons for 35 years. The QVB shop, which we took over and redid it as Oz Hair and Beauty, that was like one of the first shops in the QVB as Oz Hair. So there's always been that, we like to call it heritage. In
Great.
The best,
Little drum cell.
little buttons.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much started like parents had hairdressing salons, and while I was at uni, just sold their products on eBay to start. And at the back of my dad had like a warehouse because he had a few salons, so he had like a little mini distribution center. So I just started just putting their products on eBay, and he tried to do a website, and tried, I had a website there and I was playing around with that, but it was more just eBay because it was easy and I could figure that out, and just it started from there to be honest, and then it grew, and then when Guy came in the business, he used to help me pack boxes during school holidays, and then back then it wasn't even Black Friday, it was Christmas.
How old were you guys at this point?
I was 19 or 18, I think.
So 14, 15, back at school.
Yeah.
It's funny because every time I would come back from school holidays, like school would finish, go to school holidays, I'd see just a little bit busier.
Yeah.
Instead of having like one person on for half a day, there'd be like two people on now. And like I would always see the growth of it at the time just by school finishing and going on holidays.
Yeah.
And just through eBay at this point.
Oh, look, it was probably 90% eBay, 10% website.
Yeah.
And it's actually funny, like, so when we started focusing on the website, it was like the same time that suppliers were getting the shits about eBay, but we didn't focus on the website because of that. It was just good timing, to be honest. So like one of my good friends' dad owns Kosh & Co. Maybe your listeners would have heard of it. It's like a big flower and gifting business. And I had a chat with him. He's like a bit of a mentor, Carl Pappas. And I was telling him about the business, and he was pretty much saying like, no offense to eBay, but like you're just building an eBay business. You're not really building the Oz Hair and Beauty
Brand.
You're not building the Oz Hair and Beauty brand, right? So he introduced me to someone from Quasi who, like a digital marketing agency, right? Which we never, for 5 years we didn't need because it was just eBay,
And at that point as well, like digital marketing probably was such a new thing.
Oh, 100%.
So everyone was just figuring it out, like this whole internet business, e-commerce, well, what is that? Everything was always historically through eBay. So that must have been a really almost one of those moments where you were introduced to somebody through somebody and you're like, damn, thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
That probably opened up this world.
100%. Sometimes you think like, fuck, maybe if I did this 3 years earlier, I would have been, but you can't always think like that. So yeah, then he just, he said, first thing he says, like, you're on some crappy back end. You know, we'll put you onto Shopify. So shout out to Shopify. And you know, as soon as we went on Shopify, then he taught us about Google AdWords. And back then, Google AdWords, the cost per click was like 14 cents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are the days.
You know, Black Friday, we were paying $2
Yeah.
on Black Friday. So
Just for context, can you give us any idea as how much you'd be paying for the same AdWord now?
look, I just look at it as cost per click.
Yeah.
But like you said, 19 cents back then.
Yeah.
Sometimes on average $1.50 now.
Yeah.
So it's massive.
Increase.
So we went all in on that, and yeah, that's when things started growing. We started building a brand, then we rebranded, and then that same year, Guy came in the business because I was just sales, but there was absolutely like no system at all. We didn't have a stock system. I was just guessing. Always had a stock. Like he's the most like he has a system to go buy a coffee. You know, he's system bro.
So we were 5 years into the business and there was no stock system, which is just crazy because you're trying to manage it and like you're trying to tell people what to do, and like us ourselves have no idea what to do. Like we just don't have oversight. And when we put our stock system in, like it was just surprising how much stock we actually had.
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah.
But I think that's the really compelling thing about your journey, right? You started just by default of essentially inheriting some, a business of sorts from your parents, and then were almost forced into this world and had to learn everything from scratch, so to speak, or at least, choose mentors or people or research or learn as you go along. And I think that is the wonderful thing about your story and your success is that you have come from those humble beginnings.
Yeah.
What was that learning like? Like obviously you had a couple of mentors, but was it purely just by you kind of made a few mistakes, you fucked up a little bit and then had to pivot and keep on learning and growing? Or what do you put that down to in the early days?
Yeah, it's the making of a like I think everyone says it, through adversity and you get better and more resilient, and like it's getting in there and getting in the weeds and doing the work. That's how you learn. Like even now, the past year or two, obviously our team's bigger and we're, obviously delegating more responsibility. But sometimes I think to myself, well, you don't really learn when you're not into it. So there's always certain tasks that I want to throw myself back in there, get back in the weeds, because that's how I want to make those mistakes again and learn, because sometimes the bigger you get, the more people you get, you miss that. It's very easy to just have everyone else do it and you just be strategic and stuff, but like you got to like really execute
And get stuck in. Like I
and
think
that's how you learn.
I think the business needs to reach a tipping point at every stage before you start making like bigger decisions. Like we didn't know we needed a stock system until we kept arguing about where our stock was. Like that's like a really good example. And then like one thing I love about this industry is everybody's really generous with their time.
Yeah.
So like we've made a lot of mistakes, but just by speaking to like a range of different people, like they'll be happy to take a phone call and just guide you through it. I remember moving to Starship It. Shout out to Starship It. Like whoever was on their customer support when I was trying to set up, like has the most patience in the world, because like I'm not a tech guy and I'm trying to understand it, trying to set it up, but we were at such an edge where we needed our orders going quicker, and they were just so calm and relaxing and just, this is how you do it. And this was about 6 years ago now. So the industry is great.
Yeah. And I must say, every time I've purchased with you guys, it's been quick, like really quick. As in, I place an order, it is quite literally, there's a shipping notification saying it's already dispatched within an hour or two of me putting that order in, which is unbelievable. I think you've got to be pretty proud of that.
Yeah. Look, what we find, because we test on different competitors, and what we find the best with customers, and you know what, but eBay was the best, because eBay was, I think I mentioned this before, so eBay, end of the day, you're selling other people's brands and you're on eBay, so customer, like the customer feedback that you get, the percentage score, that's the only way you can really differentiate yourself, unless you just go price to the bottom. So being so we we're really anal about 100% feedback, 100% feedback, and that just primes you for good customer service because you'll get negative feedback and then you try and resolve it and then get them to remove it. So we found that communicating with the customer after you place doesn't matter. It just makes the customer feel it gives the customer that dopamine hit, like, oh, it's coming. Even if it's arrives a day later, but if you're communicating along the way, the customers love it. Yeah.
And I think one of the big wins we found early was even if it's going to be delayed, let them know. Don't let them go 24 hours without any update. It's just not fair to them. So there's no stock, something's going wrong, the stock's damaged. Hey, there's been an issue. It's going to be delayed. We can cancel your order, keep it 90% of the time. Thanks for letting us know. All good. Just send it when it arrives. And it's just that notifications and that post-purchase journey is so important.
Yeah. You do a lot of A/B testing as well, don't you?
Yeah, we did. We used to as well. We still, it's A/B testing. Sometimes, it slows down the decision sometimes. I remember last time I was saying how much we A/B test. Sometimes you just got to make the decision and then, depends on what it is.
Yeah.
It comes with experience.
It comes with experience, yeah. Because sometimes you get A/B test and then but then it just slows down the ultimate decision. But yeah, we do it. It's part of our thing, 100%. Yeah. It's important.
Yeah, and talk to us about, obviously you're a marketplace and that's a really interesting place to play in. The growth of Oz Hair and Beauty as a marketplace and deciding what products to kind of stock and then also really understanding your customer, seeing you have a huge variety of products. Talk us through that sort of process. I think it's interesting as well because I remember when Amazon was launching in Australia and everyone was saying, oh, it's absolutely going to change the game and they're going to become the #1 marketplace, but it didn't. And it really showed us that Australia is very different when it comes to, loyalty of local brands and obviously fulfillment and logistics, which is a really hard one to get right.
Yeah.
So talk to us about your journey as a marketplace.
Yeah, the journey is obviously, there's a lot of hair care brands that we've had, my father had supply with and had relationships with, and now I'm dealing with them. And so a lot of those brands are just from, dealing with them for a long period of time. But getting new brands this is why I love e-com so much. It's just, what do people type in the search bar? And you can look at the metrics and go, all right, well, I've never heard of a brand called Clever Curl, for example. I didn't know what that brand was, but 200 people a month were typing it in, we didn't have it. So we just use that data and then hit up Clever Curl, create a relationship, and now we sell a lot of Clever Curl. So things like that, letting data drive that decision, and obviously knowing, sometimes what competitors have, but that's probably not the best way to do it. It's just, what do your customers want? Yeah, what are the go on Google search trends? What are people searching for? Things like that. You're really using the data to drive that decision.
That's really interesting though, how you actually monitor what people are searching for on
Yeah.
your site and then utilize that as a talking point back in with that particular brand. I find that really cool, actually.
And you have your own products and brands as well?
Nah.
No, so it's
No.
all third party.
All third party.
Yeah.
Not to rule that out in the future.
Oh, is this a hint?
No, look, one of the things we've realized is it's what you don't do as well, not what you do, because there's so many
things you can
things you can do. So the opportunity cost. Right now we're focusing on stores now. So
Yeah, how's that going?
Oh, it's fun. It's really cool. So we just finished our renovation of the QVB store. We went from 10 salon chairs to 6, and we've opened up the retail side of the business, which is just really cool. It's a high foot traffic area, and it's a place that we're quite proud of as well. And it's getting a lot of traffic. Did really well during the sales period, and we think we're just trying to prove the concept. But we're quite happy with how it's progressing so far.
So I haven't yet come in and visited, but I really do want to come. Take us through what that experience is when you do enter in a salon or store that you've got.
So we've got the salon at the back. So you walk in, retail store, But it's clearly that there's a salon at the back. You walk in, you got the reception on the left, and just so many different brands. Our best sellers, the ones that our customers want, the ones that we have the best relationships with, and the ones that the customers are asking for, most importantly. We've got all our staff are trained, so they've got like offering best advice. Otherwise, we're just a bunch of nobodies. You want to be able to give like guaranteed advice. And then we've got hairdressers that have been with us for 20 years. So we've got a really strong and loyal client base when it comes to the services side of the business as well.
Yeah, right. Because you're still living your father's legacy, I guess, in terms of what he started with, which was salons, and then
Yeah, that's been
Really
like 30
through.
years, the salon there, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Stocking your products in the salons to begin with before you had a warehouse?
Yeah, I'd go and pick them up.
Yeah.
And then as I got busier, it's like, I'm just wiping the whole shelf out. So then I had to like start create my own accounts and buy it. And, then we took over the warehouse and made it like, our own warehouse. And yeah, so yeah, that's how it started, like driving around,
Yeah.
Picking up off the shelf.
picking up off the shelf as
Yeah.
it sold. And yeah.
And so now that you have a store and if you continue to grow, do you think that you'll ship directly from store or you're going to continue from the warehouse?
Definitely want to.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity there as well. I think it depends where our stores are as well. Like Uber, we're looking at what Uber is doing with Q, and like it's really exciting to be able to offer that 3-hour delivery, even shorter times, especially like the CBD. It's such a good location to distribute from. We just need to get our ducks in a row.
Systems again.
It's all about systems.
Yeah.
It's all about systems.
Exactly.
But again, looking at that journey about learning and evolving and growing the business in a way that is uniquely yours, that's your path, right? And this is probably that next phase of growth and experiential retail and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And, I think the investors that we chose and stuff was a bit strategic in that point. We got one of the investors there. He's a CEO of Accent Group.
Yeah.
They got 700 shops, so he knows how to build a shop.
So let's talk about that because, I think it's a really interesting point given, we've previously spoken about how hard it is to raise and get investment. Can you take us on that journey and potentially, for those listening who don't know about, that investment that you've recently received, it'd be good to provide that context.
Yeah. So it was, when was it? End of 2020. E-commerce was in the news all the time. All the stocks were going up. A lot of IPOs that were happening that were all successful at the time. And to be honest, we weren't even really thinking about it until we just got hit up constantly on LinkedIn by I won't mention the names, but companies that we all know of wanting to, buy us completely out. Other private equity firms wanting to, come in as well and partner with us. And yeah, that's when we realized that, maybe it's a good time to do it. We've got a pretty good asset here. And so we didn't really go out and seek it. It came to us. And then just from talking, having those conversations, we found the right partner, partners. And the most important thing was that we wanted to really be the majority. Just because we wanted to, maintain control, and you don't want to lose that sort of like family value culture.
Yeah.
Not to say that partners aren't like that, but it's just better to protect that. And yeah, it's we're quite excited. But, we got some, like I said, that mentioned Daniel Agostinelli's, really good feedback. Brett Blundy's group, BBRC, they got really good, really good experience in retail. And, we see that as our next, omni-channel. I hate saying the word. Fuck, everyone says the word omni-channel. But I hate
It's a new power word.
Exactly.
It's a power word,
all
but
about
it's
channel.
true. You got to have it. So we thought we might as well just strategically align with someone that can provide that advice, and they're so, the way they measure it and what we've learned from them so far is it's really good.
Well, I think Accent Group were one of the first in one of their stores to actually fulfill from their physical
Oh, really?
stores. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the right hands.
Yeah. High Platypus. You go to Westfield, and it's like, it's all Accent Group, man.
Yeah. And so has that changed, besides the mentorship and strategic direction, has it changed anything else for you in the business?
Oh, sorry.
The chair is squeezed. Oh.
No, I think like before, when it was just Ben Anthony, like we were kind of pushing each other as well, but now there's like another level of accountability. Like, yes, we're still majority, but like we want to do well, because these people have backed us, so like we feel now that we need to do well, which is good. Like it allows us to just work at like a different pace and a different and just looking at it through different eyes now that we've got people that have backed us, so like we can't fail.
Yeah. Let's talk about growth for a second, because I feel like that's along the lines of this topic. Now, context here: when I first met you guys, it was on a boat. And we won't go into that story, but it was on a boat and I had never met you before. We were sitting there just chatting. We're talking about your business and, the whole history and the backstory. Then we start talking about, turnover revenue, and you're like, oh yeah, about 10 mil or 15 mil or whatever it is. I'm like, oh damn, like, that's impressive. Then I get you on probably a year or maybe a year and a half later to do a live Q&A session.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh yeah, revenue like 40 mil. Oh yeah, you're getting there. And it was like, what? Within a year and a half, you've grown that much? And then we're talking just before, and you're telling us that this recent Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale, you were up 96% year on year for that particular day. Like, wild growth. And it's continuing. It's steady. It's like, it's steady, exponential. How is that, tell us, how is that journey been on a growth path? What have you been putting into place or channels that you've been utilizing to really fuel that growth?
Yeah, so obviously, COVID helped that a bit with the revenue growth there online, but really it's just been it's just utilizing and putting the money in the channels that consistently give you that return.
Yeah.
And just continuously investing in the channels, in the brands, in the things that work, and just continuously invest until it starts to fade off, and then you got to look at other avenues. Like, I think we were talking before the podcast about text. Like, text is massive. Like,
it's so good. And people
you're not spamming your customers.
Yeah,
like, it works.
Yeah.
Like, you spam some customers, but that's.
It's all about how you do it.
Say, yeah.
Organization. Yeah.
I remember the first time we did a text.
Yeah, this is a disaster. But
Chris,
we love disasters. Talk
yeah.
to us about
War
disasters.
stories.
Chris, our CRM, like, he was talking about it, and he set it all up, and he goes, okay, how much is it to send everyone a text now? And he's like, I was like, I don't know, 18 grand or something. And I don't know, like, I just thought, you know what, fuck it, let's just do it.
4:30 in the afternoon, customer service team all ready to go home, warehouse team packing up. We said how it was like
We did more
thousand contacts.
Yeah, we did more orders in that.
100,000.
From 4 to 4:30, we did like more orders than from 2 a.m. to 4. And the whole fucking warehouse.
So we're just looking at the sales by hour, and it just goes like the Centrepoint Tower, just boom. And the customer, and like we like, because him and Chris weren't talking to anyone, so I'm just at my desk. All of a sudden, customer service come running in. Has something happened to the website? Like,
crashed.
And then like I'm just looking at like what's going on.
Yeah.
Everybody's freaking out. And then he goes, "Oh yeah, we just sent out a text."
I love how for you it was just like, yeah, fuck it, just send it. And then back.
What about after? You learn from mistakes. We mentioned before. You learn from mistakes.
There's a time to send the message, so that you don't overwhelm your customers.
Yeah, and, well, I had no idea. I thought it was going to do like maybe a fifth of what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then from then, we do it. It's the best performing channel. Every sales, text, segment. Now you segment it. Now before you sent to everyone. Now we segment it, and I love reading the replies that some people send back. You know, if this, if you suck this, so like you do piss off some people, but a lot of people buy obviously. So
I did an SMS campaign once. It was B2B SMS campaign, but I got some joyful responses back. I got like fist bumps and love hearts. Like, oh, that's nice. But yeah, no, SMS is an awesome channel. It's great that you can utilize it.
Yeah, so that's been like a big part of our growth because you can look at growth in two parts of it. It's like you can grow your customer base or just get your current customer base to purchase again, and it's a lot more cost effective to do the latter. That's what we're really working on now, and I think growth now is going to come for us is with e-commerce a bit dropping off a little bit, but it's not really dropping off. It's just not going to have COVID growth. I think everyone just panics that we're not growing 40% year on year.
Yeah.
So,
but, you're still having days where, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you're significantly up from last year. So, I feel like there's this level of realism that people have to have around COVID. Like, everyone was home at COVID. There was nowhere else to shop. Exactly. Like, if you actually thought you were going to get those types of growth numbers year on year, I feel like that's...
You're kidding yourself.
Yeah, you're kidding yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And, the data's showing that everyone's going into shops now more than ever. It's September was up 19% on pre-COVID September. I feel like I'm just like a statistician here saying this.
I love that.
I remember you saying once that you tried influencer marketing and it was like throwing money down a toilet. Have you changed your
so the way I
perspective on that?
So the way I did it was like throwing money off a balcony. I think I said it was better to throw money off the balcony because some money would blow back into you. Because the context of why I said that is the first time I did it, I think I picked some influencer that was, had her ass out and probably had more, very hot. She's hot. Had more male followers than female followers. She did it on, I was like, the sixth post she was shouting out on the story. She's like Times Square.
You just want to slide into her DM and want some money?
So, the way I did it was terrible. Now that, we've got someone, a team that does it a lot better than I do it.
Fashionable.
And we've got it. So we track our brand now. So our brand was 27% 2 years ago. And now we've been building brand influencers as a part of that. And now we're like 41%. So I take back that comment that I made.
Sorry, no, I just reminded you of it. But no, but it is interesting, right? Because you're in this unique position where you are a marketplace, but you also stock a lot of brands with loyal following. So I feel as though it's a different sell, like it's a different way of building your brand.
When you say marketplace, are you reading like
stock other brands?
Yeah, sorry.
Right?
Okay, yeah, I thought you meant like eBay or
no. As in like you are a place where people will go where they can, have a selection of different brands depending on what their need is. But from a marketing standpoint, your message is obviously going to be very different if that brand was doing it themselves. So it's just interesting to hear the dynamic of different types of marketing through various channels, obviously influencers being one of them, and the cut through that you get from that, which is an interesting story. I always remember that, right? Because I think that influencer marketing in particular has come a long way, and what it was 5 years ago is very, very different to what it is now. People want authenticity. They want somebody to know and love the brand that they're pushing, and they
100%.
want that authentic message, right, through social channels. I still think it's important. There's a lot of validity to it, but hearing your experience, I think is an important one for people to know that you can't just pay somebody and then the tap turns on.
No,
it's not like SMS.
Yeah, it's not like SMS. Yeah. And look, SMS will die as well. I mean, like not die, but it will lose its effect. Like email back in the day, apparently it was like 90% open rate, and that obviously faded. Yeah, I guess, if you can do everything bad, and then you shouldn't just blanket the whole, the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, I think with you guys as a marketplace, sorry if
Yeah.
you don't like me.
No, that's all right. I just wanted to clarify. Yeah.
It takes a lot more segmentation and personalization because you have a plethora of different products and brands, and you really have to understand which customers are buying which products and why. So when it comes to, and you were saying before, when it comes to your marketing strategy, I would assume, and the systems that you would need to support it, you need a lot of personalization and segmentation. And you said you invest in the channels that work best for you, which is amazing. Sounds like it's very data-driven. What can you share what those channels are? I'm sure it changes all the time, but at the moment, what are some of those channels?
Yeah, look, so besides text, obviously text is good. We spoke about that. This is, this is probably not a, nice shiny one. It's just old school digital marketing that seems to work really well. SEO. We did a big marketing mix model, and this is like my biggest regret. I wish I did this more and understood this more 6 years ago, because it'd be paying so much dividends now. But it is what it is. Learn from your mistakes. SEO is the one that we see had the biggest growth. Google Ads, cost per click 20 cents, now $1.50. It's only really going to be sustainable to a point. We just focus on brands that give us the best margin, the best bang for buck on that. But SEO for us, understanding it, doing it, it's a long-term play. That's we think is a great channel. And like I said before, stores, we just did a new store, new fit out. As soon as we opened, sales went up like 25%. So we think, we want to focus on more organic, and that obviously grows your brand as well. Grow your brand, more direct traffic, less reliance on paid per click. So investing in things for the long term in your organic revenue opportunities. Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you have a loyalty program?
I was just about to.
Oh, where great minds think alike. Because I feel like
we do,
part of that whole organic strategy is really leveraging, loyal customers and the fact that they want to come back. So what are you doing in that?
Yeah, we've launched a loyalty program, Oswald. It's in like a phase 1 where we've got it. It's pretty much, we've started off with just cashback credits. So you get credits on everything you spend. And soon we're going to, do a tier system, but we want to see how the customers spend first before we make the tiers, because we don't want to just assume tiers and then,
That's right. Like, I feel as though it's hard to get right, especially when it comes to beauty products, because people can go wild. Take it from me. And you don't want to have those tierings too low. You want it to be aspirational. But how do you choose that? How do you go? What's the process of determining what that is?
Well, yeah, that's why we're just, so I think sometimes, perfection is procrastination. So like you can wait till you get the perfect data and the perfect thing, but you don't know until you just do it. And then, I don't think there's a problem just launching it without tiers, and then we'll launch it again with tiers based on data, how they're spending, and we're just constantly improving it as we go, and just how customers react. But it's good. We made it like automatic tick at checkout, automatically tick to join. We didn't do that at the start, and once we did that, members just went through the roof. So little things like that, yeah.
So going this long without a loyalty program, how have you been able to keep customers loyal? Because obviously there's so many other ways they can shop. They can go directly to the brand. They can go somewhere else. How have you been facilitating that so far?
I think, look, obviously EDM marketing, good old-fashioned EDM. Reviews, Yoppo, doing reviews to get them to write a review, to come back, and that also gets new customers because there's more reviews of the product for conversion, social proofing. But like you said before at the start of the email, like if you're not doing what you said before, quick dispatch, quick service, quick customer. That's the easiest way to get them to come back, I guess.
Yeah, we see that like our service is something that we're really proud of, but it's something that we need to keep monitoring as well. Like I think the start of last year we started measuring NPS, And that is like our most important metric in our customer service team. It's how we measure the whole ops department, whether we're doing well or whether we're not. And like if our NPS is below 90, like something's going wrong. And it's something that we really monitor it every day. Customer success manager will send it out to the entire company just to like tell everybody where we're going wrong, what needs to be fixed now. And like it keeps the entire team to account, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, like I said, I really feel like you guys have that bang on because there's not, I don't know, when you have a really good experience, you remember it. And I always love shopping from your site because every time I'm like, I didn't even realize that, you know, this speed is important to me, but it clearly is because it impresses me now, you know, but I remember it and I always talk about it. I always bring it back to if you want gold standard, you go and do what the Oz Hair and Beauty guys are doing because it's great.
Yeah, I remember when I first started, probably like 6 months in, we got an order and it was about 4:30. The order came through and it was on the way home. Like it was literally around the corner from the warehouse. And we had the product in stock. It was like a straightener. And I thought I'd just drop it off on the way home.
Because why not?
Why not? I was on the way home. You know, save the postage as well. And it was literally like 16 minutes after the person ordered. And I remember, like, this is back 10 years ago as well, when like it wasn't even a thing to get it the next day. Yeah. And I remember that I knocked on the door. I'm like, "Hey," you know, and hey, how you going? And she was so like, "What? What?" She didn't know what to say. She's like, "Oh," she was like, her face, and I'm like, good feeling to like, if you can make customers, obviously not going to do that now, but like, if you can make customers feel like that as best as you can, that's the way to retain them, I think. Yeah.
Surprise and delight.
Yeah.
Surprise and delight. I feel like that would have been a moment for both you and her.
Yeah, like both of us are looking like, this is changing our lives here. Kristen, I think her name was Kristen. I don't know. Remember her name?
Yeah, that memory.
Well, we have now some fun questions. We do this with everybody on the show. So it's just like answer quickly, like quick bunch of questions. Some of them are funny, some of them are not. But here we go. Okay. Which one of you do you think is Mum's favourite?
Me.
Yeah?
For sure.
Do you agree?
Nah. You know what? I don't know. No, I reckon Dean's a favourite.
Yeah,
Dean, we both moved out. Dean's our younger one. He does
There's another brother.
yeah, that's above the collar. Our men's website.
Is he working within the business?
Yeah, he runs our above the collar website. Yeah. Yeah, I reckon Dean because you could just be. Oh, you know what? Maybe we got a new dog, Lupo.
Yeah.
So maybe it's Lupo the dog.
Do you know what? The dog is always Mum's favourite, right?
Yeah.
Well, mum didn't want him. It's 7 months in.
Classic.
Classic.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Share a funny fact or story about each other.
I don't know. I think we're just polar opposites. So like, he's so go with the flow, whereas I'm just like extremely anal. Like it just works.
Yeah.
Like I think that's probably the only.
I remember we went to like a Melbourne conference. I just had an argument. Just been talking to each other for like 2 days. Oh, this is funny.
Is that
It's
the
like, what?
longest you've ever gone?
I don't know. It was like 2 days, and just like, but like, we're still around each other.
Yeah.
You know, I saw like someone, like a celebrity, you know, but we're still not talking. But I'm like, by the way, I just saw this person thing. Oh man, back to not talking.
That's such a sibling thing to do.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm angry with you, but hey, here's something cool. But I'm still angry
Yeah, like
with
still
you.
work, but you know, still it'd be cordial during work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best thing about being having. You can just say it. You know, you don't have to tiptoe around it. Yeah,
Like
frame it.
just straight to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the best way to be. I think more people need to engage in that type of discussion, you know, way of working with each other.
Yeah, I think I think family businesses, if they can work, like they just have the power to be better than non-family business because it just cut through all the bullshit and the necessity, and like we got to tiptoe around each other. Like no, if I think you're wrong, I'll tell you. You may disagree, but we'll shake hands and move on.
Yeah.
So true.
Next question. What was the hardest moment in business?
Like, you give that to me? No.
I was trying to think.
I reckon we've just moved to a new WMS ERP, and like we had the assumption that our data was correct. So we go live, and like just stand still in the warehouse for like 24, 48 hours, and like when you don't see that end in sight, it's just like, what is going on? But then like a month later, you're in working and like you're seeing the benefits. So like you can like once you're in it and like you just don't see a way getting out, it is like just horrible. It's like a really bad feeling. So like we're lucky we got out of it quickly.
Yeah.
And like we're now seeing the benefits.
I'm sure a lot of other businesses have been in that exact spot as well.
Yeah, 100%. But you know what? Like the hardest. When I look back at what I thought was the hardest moment, you look back and you think that wasn't that. In my head, I made it heaps hard. I remember like once, I maxed out our overdraft, bought heaps of stock, bought too much stock, but it was good selling stock. But at the time, I just, there was no money there and I had a bill to pay. It was like the first time in like 2 years where I couldn't not pay a bill due because there was just no money left. And then check the sales. Sales went down, and in my head, it's like, all right, is he done? That's it. Back to uni. I've stuffed this up. I've just made it worse than what it was. Yeah. But at the time, it was pretty scary. Where
it would have been real for you. And this is the thing. Hindsight's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You could have looked forward 5 years' time. You probably would have bought more stock.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's going to sell. It's all good. It's A stock. Yeah.
Which is interesting when, you're meant to be the go with the flow one.
Yeah.
But you're still freaking out.
Yeah.
I freak out the most. Yeah.
Favorite holiday destination?
I reckon Thailand. We went to Thailand for his bucks, and I like obviously like Europe and stuff, but like Thailand, like for what you get in Thailand, you get this big, massive mansion for like 1/10 of the price if you go in Europe and do that, and it's just as good, really. Besides, not in Europe and stuff, but like if you're with your mates,
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Ours.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They split it now.
Okay. I know. I wasn't expecting that. Look, I can't go past Italy. I love Italy.
Look, I like Italy, but it's just a rip-off.
It is, but the thing is, I've got a lot of family in Italy, right? So
Are you Italian?
yeah, well, I'm a mix. I'm
Okay.
Italian, Czech, Croatian. So I got a bit of everything, but I've grown up in a very Italian household
Okay, yeah.
with that cultural influence, all around me. And so I go back to Italy. I stay with family. I eat
What
with
area?
them. Right up north,
Oh, okay.
Veneto. So
Yeah.
a town called Castelfranco. It's very country, right? Very casalinga, I
Yeah.
like to say. So, that is my memory, and so I feel like my heart is always in Italy. I can't go past Italy as my favorite holiday, but that's me.
Well, I obviously have a very soft spot for Egypt. That's my hometown. Been there heaps. I love it. Love my family there. However, I do love Hawaii. I just think it's like
I went to Hawaii.
Yes, we went this year.
Yeah, I went this year too.
During Easter.
Yeah.
The Easter break.
It was a little bit. I went for my 30th.
Oh, nice.
It was my.
Also, I just came back from Uluru, by the way, and that
How was that?
Oh, it was beautiful. Highly recommend everyone to go. It was honestly like a spiritual experience. Like the rock is just magical. It was beautiful. So that's another one.
That's a unique one, actually. Like we don't talk about holiday destinations within Australia enough.
Yeah.
I heard Broome was good. Broome. Like I actually heard someone say you should go to Broome.
Yeah, I've heard that a bit
I know.
too. No,
He said he had the best time in Broome.
True. I've heard that too. Broome should be on your list.
Yeah.
It takes forever to get to because you have to fly to Perth, right? And then take another flight to Broome.
Yeah.
So it's
like going
trek.
to Europe.
Yeah, it's basically like going to Europe. Forget Europe. We're going to Broome. Everyone go to Broome. Okay, last question. Person or brand that you look up to?
I really like the Catch story.
Yeah, that's a great book as well. Hey.
Yeah, the book's great. Like we've met Gabby a few times. He's like another one who's so generous with his time. And also like I've been lucky enough just to meet other people that used to work at Catch as the business was growing. And like the way they talk about that business, it's just like I wish people would talk about, like people that work for us would talk about us like that. Like it's so like they built like a giant and they were just such great people as well. So like they're it's like a real inspiring story.
Yeah, that's great context to why you chose Catch as well. And I feel like it's not spoken about enough, is that, you know, the culture that you build within your business is equally as important to its success as what you as founders are. And we don't talk about that enough. So that's a great example.
Yeah, mine is Chemist Warehouse. So why I like Chemist Warehouse, because they know who they are.
Yeah.
They're not trying to say they're this and this and that. They're just, we got all the products you want. We're the cheapest. We got stores everywhere. Come get it.
Yeah.
And they do it so well. They make money. They make so profitable. They pay dividends to share. Like, they're just a great business. Online, in store, everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like them.
Do you think that you've modeled some of the way that you've structured your business off of that?
We can't go that like heaps cheap, and you know we got to find our pillars to go for.
Yeah, but in terms of being clear with who you are, your brand messaging, all of that rework into, you know, what value you bring to that particular person shopping from you. Do you think that that's?
We definitely strive for it. I wouldn't say we're perfect. I think, you know, it's a constantly trying to improve it, and to say that I'm happy with it, like, you know, satisfied with it, I'm definitely not. I think we need to hone in on that more, because you don't want to be too many things, because then you can't make profit that way.
Yeah.
You can't win on it, all those
Like
those levers.
Something's got to.
Something's got to give.
Yeah. So true. But I think, you know, you've done a fantastic job, guys. Like, your story is incredible, and it's been such a pleasure to watch and, you know, watch you from the distance as, you know, you keep on growing. So should we do
Let's do it.
our brand segment?
Let's do it.
Love this. So you give the context.
So every episode we showcase a product or a brand, and we just sit around and talk about it, and you can take one home. I just found out before the episode that you guys actually stock this.
Yeah, I noticed it on the
Amazing.
new category
It's a
yesterday.
new product for you, but this is number 2. It is a product by Jess, who are actually getting on the show later on today as well, and it's a post-flush drop. That's
How does it smell?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I just think that the packaging is so chic. Like, I look at that and I like this one. I'm going to say I like it better than the Aesop one. And I feel like that
Aesop
is
got,
it's just so in your face as to what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a little more chic and a little less.
Oh yeah,
It's still number 2.
yeah.
Is that was you? Yeah, we love number 2. I know. Oh my gosh, I didn't stop it.
Hannah with the late realization.
How late is that?
No,
Gotta put the
no, I didn't
No,
realize.
Maybe like this would have been good.
Okay, yeah. See, but do you see what I mean? Like, I didn't realize there's going to be people out there that didn't quite put 2 and 2 together.
So good.
Yeah, like this would have been good maybe like 2 months in dating my girlfriend, but now it's
But the smell of
past that
it
stage.
is fresh.
Yeah.
It's like super citrusy. It's quite bougie, I think.
Yeah, the drops are
Yeah.
the drops, like some of the other ones now. They're all the sprays. The drops add that extra element to it.
Yeah.
So what's the price point, Hannah?
Oh yeah, Hannah.
I have no
I don't know how I just took that in there.
I know. I think, what is it? Is it 29 or 39?
Off the top of my
I know, we should know this, but it's a good price point, I think,
Yeah.
from an everyday consumer of something just to buy to put on the on top of the toilets.
Yeah.
She has, like, you can buy it individually or you can buy it in a pack. I'm just looking on the site now. I'm not 29. Oh, you're right. It's 29.
There you go. That's a great price.
Yeah, you guys, it's good for you guys to put it like in your handbags when you go on dates and stuff.
You know what?
Is that what you're
I've
thinking?
spoken to Jess about that before. I was like, you should make it an advertising campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also for kids. So my daughter loves it. She just thinks it's fun to just drop it into the bathroom
Yeah.
afterwards, and it's great for me because when I go in there, everything is intact. Yeah, it's wonderful.
I mean, you guys see these products day in, day out. What are your thoughts?
I reckon it smells good. It smells good. You know, I love the concept. Like you said, it's not you know, you can have it in there and it's not like obvious.
It looks like it
is.
belongs there as well. Like
Yeah.
it belongs in the bathroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, ASOS point supplier. So yes, I love this product.
Is this the process you go through though to choose suppliers? Like, do you think about your customer, what they'd like, how it would go in with the extended range that they may potentially be purchasing on your site?
Like I think this is a good like at the cart filler, just because you know I don't think people would be at the moment like searching for it. But if you pop it in people's faces, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put that at the cart and yeah,
That's a great
like an add-on.
tool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even like an EDM blast and make it fun, fun
Yeah.
for that.
Exactly. No, that's so true. Anyway, thanks for that, guys. Look, once again, thanks for coming and chatting with us. It's been a blast. I've learned a lot.
We really appreciate it. We will come and visit you in store and we'll make
Yes.
sure everybody goes and visits the store. It's so exciting. Thank you again. And we look forward to following the rest of your journey.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot for having us.
Thanks.
We love it. We love the music.
How is that?